Don't make no sense to me. Anyway, Chris Hare, an economist at HSBC, said the outlook keeps getting worse. Mortgage holders are facing cost increases. Prices are expected to surge even further in the coming months as significant increases in Ofgem's energy price cap kicks in October. Analysts say the cap could rise by 82% or more. You know, I saw a thing today. It's like, you know, £1,200 it used to be, not so very long ago. And that seemed like a lot of money, didn't it? And now it's £1,900, and I think pretty shortly it's going to be £3,200. And I read in the papers that some people are thinking it's going to be £5,200. But actually it's worse than that, because some people are thinking that it might be £6,000 a year. What? £6,000 a year. How is that even possible? Or, of course, if you are in France, £1,200.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, because the French have decided to not suffer like we have decided to suffer. We love a bit of masochism. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Islington. Hello, James.
Hello, Nick.
James.
Hello, good evening. Can I say to the people of the nation, remain positive?
Yes.
Let's remain positive. Forget the strikes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they want to go and get money and all that. Well, good on them. But look, not being funny, I would not vote for Rishi Sunak, nor Liz Truss, none of the above. Mm-hmm. I would rather see my family do well and make sure I'll be the best dad that I can be. And I love all three of my children.
All of them?
And yeah, all of them in the whole wide world.
Now, which one do you prefer?
Who do I prefer at the moment? I just want a superhero. I want a superhero that can take us out of this misery.
Right.
I come from London, yeah, but it's just I'm helping my mum move from Southend to Shrewsbury.
And all you want is a hero?
Yeah, a hero that can help us move all these boxes while I'm going to be in agony Monday morning.
Oh, you are. You're going to be using muscles that you didn't even know you had. They're going to be aching. Yeah. You're going to be unable to move.
Yes, you know that. But I still remain positive and faithful. But I've been a biggest fan of your show for a while, Nick, and I think you're an amazing person.
Mate, what, like science fiction?
One more thing. Can I say one thing?
Yes, go on.
Listen, can I say happy birthday to my mum, please?
Absolutely.
Happy birthday to Mrs. Elizabeth Gittins.
Happy birthday, Mum. There you are. Excellent work. Thanks a lot, James. All he needs is a hero. He's holding out for a hero till the end of the night. He's got to be strong, and he's got to be fast, and he's got to be fresh from the fight.
Rock and roll!
Derek texts, when people spoke the name Thatcher, they spat it out. Margaret Thatcher. When the new leader takes over, they will also spit out the name Truss. Truss. Kath texts, I never thought I'd say this, but I agree with Michael Gove. What? I never thought I'd hear it. Roger says, I'm still trying to work out if your callers are real. Are they real or are they Memorex? Excellent question there, Roger. As soon as you come to a conclusion, you let me know straight away. Promise me you'll do that. Fulham. Hello, Susan.
Oh, hi, Nick.
Susan.
I'm a long-time listener and fan.
Well, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, my God, thank you. Oh, I'm so excited. Anyway, I want to talk about the water.
The water?
Yeah, I haven't paid my water bill for over a year now.
Wow. Do you still have water? Are they still squirting water up your house?
Yeah. That's why Susan is not my real name.
What's your real name? Is it Jane? Is it Alison? Is it Tracy? Sharon?
No. Anyway, I just want to tell everybody that if we all stop paying our water bills, they would then have to nationalise the companies again, wouldn't they?
I don't know what they would do. Actually, they would probably react in a very, very angry and violent way. No, I don't mean the water companies. I mean the government.
Well, I just get letters from a debt collector paper, and I just write back and say I'm dead.
Well, I am not recommending that anybody does not pay any bill that is presented to them in a timely fashion. But I have been predicting something like this for a long time because now we've got the internet. People use the internet for just wasting their time. They're looking at puppy dog videos and playing games and arguing with each other on Twitter, and just a giant waste of time. But eventually, somebody is going to say, you know what, this company has gone too far. They've just stepped over the line here, and I'm going to make a scene on the internet. And it will go around the world, as does, if somebody has a cat and they sit on one of those robot vacuum cleaners, they'll take a video of it, and it will last 10 seconds, and before you know, 100 million people have watched it. It'll go viral for no reason really that you could write down. There's no equation for it. It just happens. And so this will happen too. Somebody will say, well, you know what, this company, they've really annoyed me, and they'll write why, and it will go around the world, and 100 million people will see it, and then they'll retweet it and stick it on Facebook, and then suddenly 1 billion people will see it. And enough people, let me just finish this thought, and enough people will think, you know what, that's not right. And they will withdraw their support from that company. And that company will go out of business. And by that method, it is possible to take down the biggest companies in the world. Companies that make billions and billions and billions of pounds of profit can be snuffed out like a candle by the power of the people. All it needs is for enough people to think as with one thought. And I've been predicting that for such a long time. It hasn't happened yet because people are just wasting their time on the internet. They're not using it for, positive means. And I think that we could correct much of what actually ails humankind by that method. But we won't do it because we're busy picking Twitter fights with each other.
Well, I pray that happens. I really do. The reason I stopped paying my water bill with Thames Water was my standing charge was more than my usage. And I rang them up. Because I've been trying to save money. And I rang them up and I said, and they said, well, that's just a standing charge. I said, yeah, but how can it be more than what I've used? Yeah. And they didn't have an explanation. So, or one that I could understand, because they, when they start using, cubic, liters and all of that, I do flip off. But, I just couldn't understand it, so I just stopped paying it.
Right. And what did they say?
Well, they just keep writing to me, obviously.
Hi, how are you? That kind of thing.
Well, the debt collector keeps sending me these letters, really nice. Some of them are really nice, saying,
kisses at the bottom, that kind of thing. They do it on paper with like flowers on it.
Yeah. Like they want to help me.
Yeah, of course they do.
They want me to. They're very upset that I don't want to.
I should say so. They're very nice people.
They're hurt. They're very hurt.
Susan, you've hurt their feelings. How could you? I bet they don't sleep at night. Yeah, well, anyway, in closing, I do not recommend that anybody does not pay any bill that is presented to them in a timely fashion. But I restate my case that eventually one company or another is going to step over the line, and enough hundreds of millions of people around the world will think, well, you know what? I don't like that company anymore. And we don't have to picket them. We don't have to stand outside their shop or their factory or their offices or anything like that. You just have to not do business with them anymore. It's easy. It is incredible the power that we have, but we just won't use it. Not yet. But I feel that it is possible. I mean, it's so simple. That's the thing. It doesn't require you to do anything at all. Like an oil company, for instance, is usually the example that I give. If you pick a fight with an oil company, well, the best of luck, because you ain't going to win, because they got all the money in the world. But if you put on the internet that some oil company has, I don't know, they've stuck poison into your local river, can you imagine such a thing? And they killed your fish, and you put that on the internet, and people go, oh, they killed your fish? Right, that's it. I'm not going to do business with that company anymore. All they've got to do is drive by that petrol station and go to the one down the road, because they're all over the place. And if everybody did that, that oil company would get put out of business in about 2 minutes. Let's say 2 weeks. Same thing with supermarkets, same thing with anything you can think of. It doesn't require any effort on your part. You just don't shop with them anymore. Like an online giant, for instance. Like an online company where you get your stuff. If you read in the papers that they treat their staff really abysmally, while the chief executive is swanning around covered in diamonds and gold, then you might think, well, I'll just buy my stuff from another company then. And if 1 billion people decided to do that, then one of the biggest companies in the world will get put out of business within a month. We've got the power, we've got the tool, more importantly, to do it. Because, a very, very short period of time ago, we could write a letter to a newspaper, which would get read by a few people who would do nothing about it. Now you can reach 6 billion people from the laptop that you have got in your bedroom. That's the power. It's the greatest tool for change in history. Unfortunately, it's also the greatest tool for wasting time that has ever been made in history. And that is currently what we are using it almost exclusively for. But it might not always be the case. 0345 6060 973, text 84850, email nick@lbc.co.uk, and if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10, Nick Abbott, LBC.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Right, so what are we doing?
Given we're doing a radio show, keep up, dear, 0345 6060 973. Glenn texts, Gavin Williamson sounds like he is with Eddie Waring giving the scores on It's a Knockout in 1970. Peter texts, really, why does Sticky Rishi wear that same suit and, as you say, skinny ties and then magic trousers that turn into shorts when he sits down? He really looks pathetic, says Peter. He must hear us taking the mickey. Why would you? I don't know. It seems to be his, either he's only got one suit and one tie, or it's his patented look. It's a pretty abysmal look. Linda says, well said, Nick. I'm 100% with the RMT and Mick Lynch. That's who we need as a Prime Minister, not those two ballerinas faffing around with our taxes. Ballerinas. I can't see Liz Truss as a ballerina. I can see Swishy Rishi as a ballerina, but not Liz Truss. Belsize Park. Judy.
Hello. This thing with the money.
Yeah.
With the electric, the gas, the water. I know it is slightly cheaper, but why on earth are people using direct debits? Direct debit is like handing your wallet to the company, and they can take what they like when they like.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Would you like to know why? And this could be the cause of the future destruction of the human race.
Right.
We have been given a simple convenience.
For who is it convenient?
It's for us. It's convenient.
No, it ain't. It's for them.
No. I'm not disputing that. But what I'm saying is the reason that we've agreed to it.
Yeah.
The reason that we agreed to direct debits is that we don't have to think about it anymore. It's a small convenience.
It's a very expensive small convenience.
Yeah, we don't care about that. What I'm saying is that the destruction of the human race will be brought about by us accepting a small convenience.
Right. Well, I'm always being told what is so convenient. I don't find it convenient to give the water authority or the electricity people or the gas entry into my bank account to take what they like when they like.
No, you don't mean convenient. You don't make any sense, financially speaking. That, and I would probably go along with that. But convenience, you can't beat it. All you got to do is tick a box when you sign up with them to say that they can take a direct debit, and then you don't have to think about it anymore. And you're precisely right. You open your house to them and say, come in and take what you need.
And that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right, so what you can have as an alternative, which we have, for instance, for our council tax, we have a standing order.
Right.
A standing order is a fixed amount that goes out every month. It is for a fixed amount of months.
Right.
And it is, negated, finished at the end of the year.
Yeah, that sounds way too complicated.
No, it is really simple. It's called a standing order, and it's for X number of pounds a month for 10 months, because they only do it for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you a question about this, Judy.
Yes.
Does it require more than you ticking a box and then forgetting about it?
No,
it does, though. Yes, it does. It requires absolutely does. It requires you, first of all, filling out who it is that you got a standing order to, then filling out the amount, and then filling out what day it is that you want it to come out of your account. Way too much work. If you
don't do any of that.
If you tick a box and then forget about it, that is a small convenience, and that is what will do for mankind.
But I don't do that. When I get my bill in for the whole year for the council tax, I phone them up.
Well, see, you've lost me already. You call them on the phone?
I call the bank on the phone, and I say to the bank, pay X amount for the 10 months to the council. Boom, done, finished. They can't alter it. They can't extend it. They can't do nothing.
Right.
And with the electric and the gas and the water, they send me an estimate through the post. I go to the meter and I read the meter.
Oh, my God. What, more work? Are you kidding me? As opposed to just ticking a box and forgetting about it? A small convenience?
I read the meter. I phone on my house phone. And I press some buttons telling them the meter reading.
And
I pay the exact amount that they...
I'm so bored, Judy. Can I not just tick a box and let them take as much as they want?
You certainly can, but then don't complain.
Well, you know me, I never complain.
Whinging and whining and moaning.
Lovely. Great, then that's what you do. Tick your box. Don't tick your box. Do what you like. Give them your wallet and let them take what they want.
Right. All I'm saying is that is what will do for the human race, is us accepting a small convenience. Like, for instance, the high street. People complain that the high street has gone. The reason that the high street is gone is because we have accepted a small convenience by buying something online, so we don't have to get on our hat, coat, scarf and gloves and go down the high street and actually buy it in person. It's not much. It's just a small, because we were going to go there eventually anyway, but it's a small convenience. Now we don't have to walk into a shop. Somebody brings it to us, so we don't even have to get up out of the chair. A small convenience has ruined the high street, and it will ruin society, it will ruin the economy, it will ruin the atmosphere and the earth that we stand on. Small conveniences, trust me. Right.
Okay, fine. Have you handed your wallet over to all the electric and the gas and all of them?
What? I haven't got a wallet. I just tell them they can root around in my trouser pockets, and whatever they find they can keep.
Great. Well, then you get what you deserve. It's no good laughing. That is what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, please, do you know what makes me... I'm sorry, you're going over your time. It's midnight.
Not yet.
You know, I just find it absolutely astonishing that I'm told all these things are for my convenience.
Yes.
They never are for my convenience.
No, I'm aware of that, but there is a small convenience that you benefit from, by which method you will give up everything.
Yes, well then, fine. If you're wealthy enough to do that, good luck.
It ain't got
and do it.
ain't got nothing
I'm
to do
not.
with. It's not got anything to do with wealth. It's got to do with just being lazy. Essentially, we will give up everything for a small convenience. That is the point that I'm trying to make. I'm not saying
I know you've made the point.
I'm
You've made
not
the
saying
point
it's
10 times.
It's a good. Well, you don't seem to be understanding what I'm saying.
I understand exactly what you're saying. I'm simply saying why. I know it's convenient. Okay, I agree. It's for your convenience.
Right.
Then good luck, enjoy, and great. But stop complaining.
I'm not complaining.
Not you, the people phoning in who are complaining.
Oh, those people.
Those and you don't like people.
Whining people. They keep calling me. How do they get my number? All right. Good talking to you, Judy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Cheers, my dear. I'll take your direct debit instructions shortly. I'll take them during the news. Hang on. Don't put that phone down. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbot, LBC.
On your radio, on Global Player, and
Play LBC.
leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC. This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Hello.
Hello, boys.
0345 6060 973. Keith tweets, hello from Ireland. We listen to you often. We love you. What's Schadenfreude in Brexit? Not Northern Ireland. Har, har, har. Southern Ireland. Des emails, you should go to Deal in Kent and Ramsgate, which is 15 minutes from Deal. Deal is a bit posh. Ramsgate is worth a visit. Van Gogh lived in Ramsgate, and Pugin and Karl Marx. Van Gogh lived in Pugin and Karl Marx. I didn't know that. The stuff you learn on this show. It's an education, yes?
No.
Paul text, please start giving Sunak a break. Don't forget what the alternative is. Yeah, that's right. I know. What have we done to deserve this? It must have been pretty bad. I mean, can you believe it? What kind of a country comes up with two individuals competing to run the land, and you'd have to assume that they are the best of us, and it turns out to be Fishy Sunak and the Brains Trust. I mean, it's just stunning, isn't it? You would have to assume that, assuming that we live this long and that the Earth survives the next Prime Minister, that people in the future, no, not too far in the future either, are going to look back and think, That's what historians are going to be looking back at this period thinking, Gwenny tweets, going to the coast? I love the smell of poo in the morning. It smells of privatisation. Or are you going to Scotland? And Mikey emails, rail strikes are a disgrace. How can I travel to Peppa Pig World now? Excellent question there, Mikey. Maybe an expert can help.
Peppa Pig World. Peppa Pig World it has Peppa Pig
is the right answer. Sharp as ever, Bodge. What will we do without you? Bodmin. Hello, Malcolm.
Hello, Nick.
Yes, sir.
Nick, a lot has happened in the last 24 hours since we last spoke.
Oh, yeah.
The government keeps telling us that too many people are running this country down.
Yes.
This country is great. Well, Nick,
no, wait a minute. I think what you mean is this is the best country in the world.
Well, let me give you some examples of how wonderful this country is, right?
Please do, yes.
It's starting to come out now on the media, right? Our beaches. This country, Nick, is so excrementy that the excrement is starting to trickle over the edges into the sea, down the beaches, into the water.
Yes.
That's how excrementy the country is. So the Tories, I'm sorry. And then you've got Liz Truss telling us that there's too much talk of a recession, Nick. Too much talk of a recession.
That's what's going to cause the recession. People talking about the incoming recession. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if that's not bad enough, Nick, the headlines tonight are, you're about my age. We went to university first time round, free of charge. We got paid to go.
That's right.
The headlines this evening, Nick, the universities, the people running universities are saying that students must pay up to £24,000 a year for the education. Yeah?
No.
Honest to God, you look at the headlines, the university chancellors are saying that students must be paying up to £24,000, much, much closer to what foreign students are paying, or British students are going to lose their places to foreign students. That's how excrementy and great we are, Nick. It's been the most insane 24 hours. I cannot believe it. Now, in reality...
Well, now, hang on a minute. Where did you get that story from? Because I'm just looking through one of the online news sites, and I can't see it. Where is it?
Have you got access? As your able colleague, you've got access to the Sky News app. If you have, scroll down a little bit, and it says, look at tomorrow's headlines, newspaper headlines.
Yeah.
And it's there in black and white. Universities say students must pay close to the £24,000 that foreign students are paying, or they are going to lose their places. Now, we just on Thursday we were told thousands of students are going to miss out because their grades have been dropped. Well, now they're not going to university anyway unless they can stump up, and it'll happen, Nick. I'll bet you £1 a pinch of salt within the next months, the universities that the government will announce an increase in student fees.
But it can't possibly be to £24,000. But then, like last week, I would have said, well, the fuel bill can't possibly go up to £6,000. But we've just been told that it will. £6,000 for something you can't even see, touch, squeeze, or well, you can smell it. Of course, you can smell gas. Oh, I love the smell of gas in the morning. It's no, I don't. I don't.
Well, you want to go to a beach near you, and you'll be smelling methane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I cannot see that story that you are referring to.
It's there in black and white. Sky News they've done the headlines of tomorrow's newspapers, and at least one is saying the universities are saying students must pay closer to the £24,000 the foreign students are paying, or they're going to lose their places to foreign students. Mate, elderly people like you and I, whoever, paying taxes.
What did you just say?
Wait
a minute, back up. What did you just say?
No.
Okay, Sunday National's front pages. Let's have a look. Universities push for vital tuition fee rise. Okay, the front page of the Super Soaraway Times newspaper. Wait a minute. UK students must pay closer to £24,000 a year or lose their places to foreigners, argue bosses.
What?
You're joking.
I'm not. It's there in black and white, Nick. And listen, that's the Times. The Times, right? The Times Education Supplement, which is, a well-respected rag for schools and school teachers. And there it is.
Well, I am
stunned. I used to be a school teacher. Yeah.
Oh, yeah? What did you teach? Maths?
I used to teach, design and technology and a bit of IT.
IT, right. Isn't that maths?
No, that's computers and information.
Yeah, but isn't that maths?
No.
I think you'll find it's maths.
Okay, whatever you say.
Right.
Then,
teacher. What are 6/8? You're so smart.
52
is the right answer. It's close enough for jazz. Yeah.
It's insane, Nick. And that's in 24 hours. Look, what's going to happen by tomorrow, man?
I have got no idea. Isn't it exciting?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, Malcolm. Cheers, mate. 0345 6060 973. 6/8 are 52. That is the right answer.
Correct.
Randall emails, your prophet of doom approach for the opposition is working. YouGov gives Labour its highest lead in over 10 years. 15 points. Keep stirring them up. I've got no idea what you're talking about, Randall. Not a clue. I was highly amused by this, though, in the Telegraph today. Well, yesterday, actually. Yesterday by 11 minutes. Jacob Rees-Mogg has revealed his efficiency drive has saved almost 15... No, wait. I'm overselling it. Jacob Rees-Mogg has revealed his efficiency drive has saved almost £4 billion already, as he warned a leaner Whitehall was vital to ensuring taxes and inflation come down. Jacob Rees-Mogg has already saved us £4 billion. Yeah, sure he has. The Telegraph says the Minister for Brexit Opportunities and Government Efficiency, which is, I mean, that's so yes, Minister, that has to be a joke. The Minister for Brexit Opportunities and Government Efficiency said cracking down on fraud, as well as cuts to civil service numbers and a rationalisation of offices, has saved the huge sum of £4 billion, that huge sum that he just made up. He says reducing the size of Whitehall could also help in the fight against inflation, which hit 10.1% on Wednesday, which is something else that he also made up. Inflation is being caused by a worldwide shortage of pretty much everything by Putin's invasion of Ukraine and the aftershock of the pandemic. But added to that, uniquely, of course, in this country, is the thing dearest to Smug's heart, the Brexit that he promised would deliver us cheaper food and cheaper clothes and cheaper footwear, and would mean more money in our pockets, and would make trade easier and life less expensive. And absolutely everything he said about it was untrue. Verifiably so. But he wants us to ignore every single thing he got wrong, all of it. And he wants us to believe him now. Let's think about that.
No.
No! Here's a way to fight the inflation that's worse in this country than any other country in the European Union and any other major economy in the world, by the way. Just simply get in a time machine and stop us leaving the world's biggest free trade area that we rely on for half of everything we buy and sell. In other words, ignore everything that this bespectacled, squinty-eyed chump said to get us to vote against our best interests and for the interests of the super-rich, who thought it would be easier to avoid paying taxes if they could write the rules outside the EU. In other words, people like him. That's the lead-in to Smug's little column in the Telegraph, blowing his own trumpet. History will remember George Osborne's period as Chancellor favourably, says Jacob Rees-Mogg. He had a long-term economic plan and recognised that taxpayers' money must be used carefully. This was not primarily about cutting spending, but about using money to its best advantage. It is thanks to his efforts that the nation could afford the £400 billion of support during the pandemic. That was his opening salvo, Smug. He wrote his own column about how great he's doing in the Telegraph. OK, so first off, the Tories can never, ever, ever claim to be using taxpayers' money carefully. Not now, not ever, never. I mean, who is he kidding? They're spending over £5 million a week just to store the faulty PPE kit that they bought from their mates that didn't work, is out of date, or was never needed. They're burning £4 billion of that stuff just to get rid of it. Do you know how much £4 billion is? I mean, let's assume we're dealing in £10 notes. To store £1 million in £10 notes, you could put it under your average dining table. It's about a square metre's worth of £10 notes, £1 million. £4 billion in £10 notes would fill every room, floor to ceiling, in 24 three-bedroomed houses. 24. entirely filled houses with £10 notes. That's £4 billion. And that's what they're burning of PPE kit that they bought with our money just to get rid of it. 24 three-bedroomed houses, every room filled floor to ceiling with £10 notes. There's £4 billion. And that's what they're burning of PPE kit just to get rid of it. If you stack the tenors on top of each other, £4 billion worth would reach 11.3 kilometres into the air. That's 7 miles of money that they're burning, while telling us that they're being careful with our money. They're burning stuff just to get rid of the things that they bought with hard-working taxpayers' money that Smug is now telling us they're so keen to save. I mean, you couldn't make it up, could you? But he is. He says, for the British state to weather the coming storm of inflation and to support the public adequately. Wait, adequately. Oh my God, he is such a caution. Adequately. Adequately in whose mind? Yours? To support the public adequately, waste and inefficiency must be reduced. Working with officials and fellow ministers in the Cabinet Office this year, I, says Smug, have been able to realise billions of pounds of saving for the taxpayer by removing unnecessary inefficiencies and waste. This will help to address inflation, which has reached extraordinary heights. He has saved billions in unnecessary inefficiencies and waste? Really? How? By putting constipated notes on empty desks in his own department saying, sorry you were out. He's as much of a fantasist as his act implies. I mean, he's living in a dream state of his own devising. He doesn't know where his performance ends and real life begins. He says our departure from the European Union necessitates a rethinking of the British state. This means going beyond ministers, looking for fiscal trims and haircuts, and considering whether the state should deliver certain functions at all. Bingo! First thing he said that rings true. Of course he doesn't think that the state should deliver certain functions, specifically any that benefit people unlike himself. He's that breed of delusional characters that have had every opportunity in life gifted to them on a platter and simply can't abide anyone that's not been as clever as to have been born to parents as rich as his. He says, as a supporter of Liz Truss to become Prime Minister, I am a strong advocate of the benefit of tax cuts to the economy and to the British consumer. And here we are back in a fantasy land again. Tax cuts, of course, benefit the rich much more than they benefit the poor, who do not earn enough to pay much tax in the first place. I mean, are you getting the picture yet? They fashion policy to enrich themselves, and then they try to dress it up as somehow helping others. It's the old bait and switch. You know, just like Jesus would do. There's more. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Would you mind telling me what this is all about?
Yes, it's about Jacob Rees-Mogg. Hang on. It's about Jacob Rees-Mogg blowing his own trumpet. He says, all taxes are eventually paid by individuals as everyday prices, whether they are green levies on energy bills, corporation tax, or national insurance, which affect economic growth and overall inflation. Yeah, corporation tax, that's the biggie. That's the one that they're really keen to get rid of, to reduce. We already have among the lowest corporation tax in the first world, and it hasn't stopped inflation at all, has it? And it hasn't increased investment, and it hasn't led to growth. It's just helped vampire capitalists suck the money out of companies and give it to themselves. I mean, witness the energy companies. and the water companies and the rail companies, all the executives and the shareholders making out like bandits while they pay their workers so badly that they can't afford to get by. And they jack up the prices because they've been gifted monopolies by the Conservatives. He says, while I support cutting taxes to unleash economic growth, it won't. He says, we must eradicate waste so public money is spent as efficiently as possible. We will not bring inflation down without a lean and efficient state, he says. And that's where this levelling up nonsense is going. Nowhere. More austerity. Less of what we rely on, because what can be cut that hasn't already been cut after 10 years of cuts? The police, the NHS, pensions, public transport, libraries, social care. What? What's he going to cut? The answer is everything millionaires don't use. He says the trade border is one example of how government efficiency eases inflation. This is smug writing. In the spring, thanks to the support of the Prime Minister and Liz Truss, the government suspended the expensive physical checks on incoming goods from the European Union to address the rising cost of food. He says as well as saving officials at the border time and resources, this measure also saved businesses in the wider economy at least $1 billion in avoided costs, preventing shortages of goods and delays in already strained supply chains, which is the absolute opposite of what actually happened. It wasn't a choice that we made to suspend checks. We had to, otherwise we'd have been looking at empty shelves. That's why Brexit has been great for our competitor countries and terrible for us, because the checks on goods that we insisted on when we left the EU are being done as they should be on stuff that we sell to Europe, but we aren't checking what they sell to us because we were never ready to do that. So foreign goods are less expensive than the goods that we sell to Europe. It hasn't saved us money. It's gifted our money to the EU. It's like getting into Europe versus Europeans getting into this country. It's very hard for us to get into the EU because of the passport checks that we insisted on when we left. It's very easy for the Europeans coming here because we just waved them through like Brexit never happened. He says, thanks to the freedoms outside the EU, we are going further by cutting tariffs and digitising our trade border with a single trade window next year, which will help businesses trade across our border seamlessly, cutting costs and reducing inflation. Come off it. I mean, how many times since the Brexit farrago started have we heard that mantra that trading will be easier? Just wait, it's just around the corner. All we've got to do is wait. A magic computer system will be invented and installed, and it will work as well as every other government computer system that's ever been invented. It will be working so badly they'll have to switch it off the moment it's started. He says the data flowing through our borders will help ministers make new efficiencies and potentially save the taxpayer billions of pounds by avoiding building costly infrastructure or automating existing processes. I mean, he is really losing it. Or he thinks that you're too stupid to realise that the infrastructure he's talking about avoiding is only there because of the Brexit he wanted. He says maintaining government efficiency requires constant vigilance to stop departments from wasting taxpayers' money, which in turn increases government debt and risks higher inflation. With a tight control on spending and an emphasis on reducing fraud, the Cabinet Office was able to save over $3.5 billion for the taxpayer in 2020 to 2021. Yeah, okay, I'm calling it shenanigans. That is total nonsense. This bloke who hovers around like the ghost of a vaudeville act has saved the country £3.5 billion in 1 year. How? By not giving it to friends of the regime for stuff they can't produce and that we didn't need anyway? And even if it was true, which it isn't, it's still not as much as the PPE that his government bought that they are literally setting fire to just to get rid of. He says the government will publish comprehensive information about the scale of the fraud in the pandemic bounce-back loan scheme in September, and implement a programme to reclaim the billions lost to fraud, which should do much to restore taxpayers' trust in the government's management of their money. OK, I'm calling that too. Shall we skip to the part where they refuse to publish the comprehensive information about the scale of fraud and just tell us that lessons must be learned? He writes, governments always face the pressures of public business, but this is not an argument for more civil servants. Completing the reduction by 91,000 officials will save the taxpayer over $3 billion and restore our bureaucracy to a sensible size now the pandemic has passed. So, if you've been trying to get hold of HMRC to figure out your tax, or attempting to get a passport or a driving licence, or contacting the government in any way, or waiting for help from any department, expect to be disappointed a lot more. He said the optimisation of the government estate is saving the taxpayer £6.5 billion through a combination of consolidating government property, more commercial nous in handling leases, and the running of businesses more efficiently, buildings rather, more efficiently, which sounds like more selling off of what's ours for the benefit of private profit. I mean, they've sold everything else. They're running out of stuff to flog. And as for running buildings more efficiently, what does that even mean? Not turning the lights on? And anyway, the Tories have been in power for 12 years. What is he saving us from? Themselves? Don't you think that if they could have saved us £6.5 billion 12 years ago, they'd have done it? I mean, if it's that easy, why have they taken this long to even think about doing it? He says, as figures show more civil servants returning to the office full-time, taxpayers will want to see their money being spent on a civil service hard at work in the office. And there's absolutely no evidence at all that more gets done in an office than working at home. Zero. It does not exist. And if he's so keen on working hard in the office, why doesn't he start with his current boss? Or his next boss, neither of whom have been seen in anything resembling an office for weeks? He says the next Prime Minister will face great challenges from the first day in Downing Street. Cutting inflation, cutting taxes and growing the economy must be his or her overriding priorities. None of these are deliverable without political determination to make Whitehall as lean and efficient as it can be. Cutting taxes must go hand in hand with trimming the bureaucratic bloat of Whitehall. Only that way will we be able to bring inflation down and restore the economy to growth. The next Prime Minister could cut bureaucratic bloat in one simple step that would have the advantage of making the public feel momentarily better about itself and making us less of a laughingstock on the world stage by simply firing the man that knows nothing.
I don't know anything.
Bingo. Problem solved. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's at LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC. It's 12:30.
Nick Abbott on LBC.
Okie dokie.
Here's a call in St Ives. Hello, Brenda.
Hello, Nick.
Brenda.
Hiya. I just wanted to comment on the lady that was talking about standing orders.
Booze.
This has been going for years. I've got my council tax on standing order.
Yeah.
I've just told my energy company I'm cancelling my direct debit, and I will pay the bill when it comes in for what I use. Because, Nick, this is giving us control over our own usage, not the energy companies telling us what we will pay.
Right.
And this is what people have got to do. So
well, I'm not disputing that it might be better to do that, but what I am saying is, back to my comments before, people won't do that because they will give up anything for a small convenience.
Well, so good luck to them then.
Yeah.
They'll pay the price. If they can't get off their backside and get on the phone and make a call, then I feel sorry for them. They deserve what they're going to get then.
Well, they're going to get it one way or the other. Yeah.
Absolutely.
They'll say, thank you, sir, may I have another?
2 bags full.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cheers, my dear. 0345 6060 973. Peter tweets the new Tory slogan, if it's broken, don't fix it. Tooting. Hello, Jan.
Hi, good evening, Nick.
Jan.
Enjoying your show.
Thanks.
And I thought some people have been ringing up and sharing their experiences, like with the electricity bills. I thought I'd ring in and share mine because it's quite interesting. No one's yet spoken about the dual tariff electricity. So I have an all-electric flat. I decided it would go all-electric some while ago. And it used to be gas and electric. So I have a dual tariff because the type of heating I've got is night storage heaters. And so I have a economy metering. So the day rate is twice the night rate.
Wow.
Yeah, so like the day tariff, for I know I've got it in front of me here because I'm actually I can't have a smart meter installed, and I have had to go over my maths again to do my own meter readings and work out what it will cost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but from say a kilowatt rate.
You're not going to do maths on the air.
I won't do that. No, I won't do that now. But so that's the thing. I really save a lot if I just put on my immersion heater after 11 p.m.
Well, what you should actually do is get a job where you work nights, and then you could flip your entire life, and by that method you could use electricity when it's cheaper.
No, I work for myself. I do freelance, and I'm a retired person, so I'm not one of your retirees that votes conservative. but I mean, I really say a lot. But I do find that if you negotiate something with with EDF Energy, they're quite good because I had a huge backlog of a bill, and they've allowed me 3 years to spread the repayment of something that got out of hand for me.
Okay, well that's super. Sadly, you mentioned the actual company name, so that's the last we can. That's the last we can discuss it.
Yeah, but they're one of the
you just mentioned it again.
Oh yeah, am I not supposed to say it?
Ever?
Oh, I thought there. Oh, okay,
well, you should think less.
Yeah, but you people can't just.
Oh, I see. It's my fault.
No, but there's something else I wanted to say. Another point I wanted to make.
And another thing, yeah.
I've been finding I want to get my head around a bit more about things, but it would be great, if the what do they call them? The national grid. The national grid, those are the people who sell the electricity to the companies, aren't they? So they're saying something about that only accounts for 15% of our bills. But as you say, and everyone's saying, it would be great if the national grid and those could be privatised. Yeah, so there'd be more focus not just on the immediate problems, but getting carbon. What is it now? Carbon neutral. Yeah, making the power grid carbon neutral by that date they set, which isn't going to happen if it's just run by Ofgem and, isn't it, Ofgem? Apparently, the director of Ofgem quit recently because she didn't want to be with them when they are, they put the interest of the shareholders ahead of the public.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a plan.
And what is it? They say something like, oh yeah, this rebate that they're giving people. The £400 rebate would be, what is it? I'm not entitled to anything like that, but it would reduce bills by just a little bit more than £15 a week.
What would?
The fuel rebate being offered by the government would only reduce people's bills by £15 a week. And that's and then there's the big hikes coming up in October. So it's not really
by this time next year it'll be £6,000 a year. So
yeah,
they're
it's
saying,
really scary, isn't it?
How is that even possible? Who's going to be able to afford to pay that? You'd have to be an executive in one of those energy companies, Jan. All right, cheers, my dear. 0345 6060 973. Alice texts, is the noise a beeping sound? I've just had an alert on my iPad to say that I'm being tracked. What's happening? Is it you? Says Alice. Alice, I am not tracking you, but I can see you. If that's any help. Lewisham. Hello, Barry.
Hi, Nick. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Good. I met one today. He did his best, people. It was soul destroying. It was utterly soul destroying. The delusion was so great. And I was trying to explain, like, I asked, like, the guy said to me, Boris is really intellectual. He's really smart. So I said, well, give me evidence of his smart decision making. And then he said Brexit. Have you not seen the evidence of your eyes? Can you not see what is around you? Like, and then he said it's COVID's fault. So it's not COVID's fault, is it? Because like everyone had COVID, and we're far ahead in our world beating inflation rate.
Barry, you might as well try to talk somebody out of their religion. You're wasting your time.
Yes.
They've joined a cult.
Entirely. This is the thing. The delusion is entirely religious, and I think the zealousy now is dangerous for us because people aren't even thinking anymore, and it's really soul destroying and sad because we're going to end up with more conservatives at the next election.
Well, the cult leader is exiting.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
He is being forced to exit, but he is being replaced by somebody who is much, much less able to get people to act against their best interests.
I worry even more now. That's the problem with these guys here, mistrust and fishy Rishi. I mean, she will be whoever you want her to be in that sense, in order to get to the most powerful position. So she's that.
But she's not.
Kind of
but
person.
she's not the communicator. To be a cult leader, you need to be a great communicator. I mean, it doesn't mean that you have to actually say anything that's true or that is in any way verifiable or that's helpful or anything like that. You just have to mesmerize people, and there's no way that either of those two are mesmeric. They
don't need to be. They don't need to be, because the thing is, he will give you whatever you want in terms of like the most racist policies. He'll do whatever it is you feel, because what do you like?
Ordinarily, when in an ordinary circumstance, that would probably work. Just keep pointing at people in dinghies and tell the public that it's their fault. But when people can't afford to actually eat anymore, then more pressing concerns come to the fore. And I don't think it's going to work. I think that I think they're fresh out of ideas because they can't actually run on anything that they've achieved in the last 12 years. Because what have they achieved in the last 12 years? Tell me. There isn't anything. They used to be the party of law and order. The legal system in this country has collapsed completely, from the bobby on the beat to the beak at the magistrates' court. It's all gone. Fiscal responsibility. Do me a favour. What else have they got? I mean, the social cohesion, levelling up. I mean, come on. They haven't got anything other than making you angry at minorities, at an easily identifiable group of others. That's what they've got left. And that would ordinarily be enough, but not now. Not when we're going through this. £6,000 a year your energy bill is going to be, so they're now saying, in April of next year. That's what it's going to reach by then. £6,000 a year. Milk, a couple of weeks ago, was £1.80 for 4 pints. Now it's like £2.30, something like that. It's not going to work anymore. Just pointing at people with a darker complexion than yours and saying that it's all their fault because they're coming over here and taking our biscuits, that's not going to work anymore. And that is all they've got. Smug going on about efficiencies. I mean, God, it's just all so pathetic. Efficiencies. So, I mean, I'm just wondering how the Labour Party are going to manage to screw it up, because they will try to find a way, Barry. They just will.
Entirely. Well, my concern is that the only thing they've got left to mesmerise people with is war. They've got nothing left because they've done everything else and ruined everything else. I think their objective was destruction of the UK. That seems to be the only objective.
Well, not destruction, I'd say. It's more like a smash and grab raid. It's just like we will charge in, take anything that we can find of value, and then run away, and tell people that we were just redecorating.
Well, the house is on fire.
Yeah,
that's where we are basically. So yeah, it's a nice looking house, isn't it?
Well, it used to be. Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, Barry. Cheers, mate. Don't worry, it might never. Oh no, that's right. It already has. 0345 6060 973. Izzy emails. It's a bit rich that Truss disapproves of handouts while the people of the UK subsidise the government's food. I think that qualifies as a handout, doesn't it? Why would anybody vote for her? She can't even find her way off a stage. Says Izzy. Yeah. Oh, that's true, yeah. It's hard to leave when you can't find the door.
Rock and roll!
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
Come on, we're running late.
Let's have a call in Colnbrook, Berkshire. Hello, Nick.
Hi, Nick. Spoke to you last week.
Oh, yes.
Again. We've got a bit of a crisis over here. The ULEB zone comes in next year in August, and everybody's having to sell their cars around here, which is becoming a bit frightening. There's over 500 people that are going to have to sell them just in one housing estate in Stanwell Moor.
Wow.
Because my brother would have to pay £250 a month just to go to work.
Wow.
When this zone opens up by Heathrow. It's absolutely crazy. Can I also give a little story thing that I tell companies when they cause me trouble? You were saying about us all going against one company on the internet. This is what I always say to them. You think I'm a small fish in a large lake, and you're a big shark swimming around and I can't do anything about it. Well, let me remind you, I'm a piranha, and I take a little bite out of big companies. I also tell all my friends, and they're piranhas as well. And if enough of us take a little bite out of a big shark, you die.
Well, that sounds like an excellent reason not to go to Colnbrook in Berkshire, Nick. You're frightening me. But thanks for the good advice. Cheers, mate. 0345 6060 973. Sam texts, the reason we always end up with Tories is because Labour keep losing elections. I bet they are going to work overtime trying to make sure that they lose this next one. They specialise in losing elections. They love losing. Gives them more chance for
whinging and whining and moaning.
Yeah, to stew in the satisfaction of misery. Got a masochistic streak running right up 'em. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Let's see. Belfast. Hello, Brendan.
Oh, thanks. I've been really enjoying it as usual. I haven't read a lot more, but I restrain myself because I don't want to seem like as if I'm looking for publicity for my own thoughts. Or
Brendan, hey, Brendan.
Yes?
This phone is a really bad connection. Can you move to the window or higher ground?
Hold on. I'll tell you exactly what it is with headphones on. How's that? Not better?
No, that's much worse.
Hold on, let me turn the headphones on.
Okay, take all the time you need. It's a live show.
Is that better?
It is.
Oh, well, that's the first time you've had a problem with those headphones because I can't hear very well, and I've always listened to Ian Rang on the headphones. But anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch. Thanks for taking my call. That's the first thing. But I could never understand why the privileged and the self-entitled, if you're given and gifted, as you would call it, such a wonderful life without anything other than your parents and your parents' friends and your associates and then your mates, why would you treat the less fortunate so badly? I could never understand that. So, I went back to school a couple of years ago and discovered that the Tories, according to the British, Irish, I'm not getting into until Ireland and England here. The general theory is that the Tories are the official natural party of government.
Yeah, well, they like to think that.
Oh, no. That's what universities teach.
What?
That's what the university courses will teach you, that the Tories are There was no Labour Party. It was the Liberals were first. But I'll move along.
I think what you mean is that the upper classes have considered themselves always to be born to lead because they always have been gifted that position through no excellence on their part in the job at hand. It's just been given to them like everything else has been given to them.
Agreed. But again, I need to re-emphasize again that it's not my opinion. This is something that I was taught when I went back to study both British and American politics. And it wasn't someone saying, here's what we think they think. This is that the Tories are the party of national government, and the Liberal, which at that time, and now Labour, are the party of opposition. And that's how they're both mindsets. Both Labour believe that they're to be on the opposition benches most of the time. Yeah. And again, you can see that because that's why they screw up all the time.
Well, this is part of that we know our place mentality.
This is exactly it. Right. This is exactly it. So Tory, anyway, I didn't know that Tory, the definition of Tory is actually a highwayman. And I find that interesting. That I wondered why you called them Tories. And
stand and deliver.
Yes,
your money or your life.
That's exactly what Tory means. And they regard. Yeah, that's true. That's a definition. That's a legal and dictionary definition.
Right. Well.
And then they regard wages to be a tax on their profits.
Yes, correct.
And everything stems from that. And then fraud is going to become Liz Truss's. She's going to be the next, imbecile to run the shambles. And she's going to go after benefits. When they're talking about fraud, what they're talking about is people who maybe worked one day a week helping a guy push a car or cutting some neighbour's hedge, getting 20 quid.
Not somebody who moves billions and billions of pounds offshore so that the taxman can never get at it. I'm just looking at the definition of Tory, and I'm not sure it's coming up with. I'll look at Merriam-Webster, which is the Cruciverbalist's dictionary of choice.
Okay. No, it is highwayman.
A dispossessed Irishman subsisting as an outlaw, chiefly in the 17th century. So that's more or less what you just said. Yeah. Excellent work there, Brendan. Mate, I'm going to have to go, but thanks for that. 0345 6060 973. Let's have Wapping. Hello, Tina.
Oh, hi.
Tina.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hi.
Hi. Let me just say hello.
Hello.
Yes, Tina.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Well, I was ringing. I'm just a little. I'm shocked, disgusted, upset, and quite aggrieved at the acceptance of humanity of what's going on at the moment with the world. The oil companies are allowing deaths to happen all over the universe. We are the customers. That's how they've made their money. Blah blah. They're monopolising and claiming deposits of ancient things.
So in short, you're not angry. You're just disappointed.
No. I'm disappointed at the general population, the working man, the normal people who are being affected.
Keep in mind, the masses are asses.
But it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The nation is it's dumbed up, and I do believe we're being dumbed up by the government.
We're being dumbed down.
I love the poorly educated.
Up.
Down. Yes, being dumbed down. Our pineal gland is in the core of the brain and is known to be the main thing of consciousness and enlightenment.
Did you just say our opinion gland?
No, it's called a pineal gland.
Oh, the pineal.
Pineal.
The pineal gland. We're talking about bits of the brain now, Tina. I think we've strayed into bizarre territory. And I don't want to go there, because that sounds like studying to me.
Boring.
Can't do it. But I appreciate the thought from whichever gland of your brain it came from. Paisley. Hello, Margaret.
Hello, Nick. First call to you. I've been listening for quite a few years. Very annoyed, in fact, quite raging about Brexit. Been listening to it right from the beginning. But maybe you could find this out. I believe Brexit can be reversed right up until the last agreement is signed. Right? The Tories have conned the people with regard to this. And I don't know if you could look into that, or that Boris could be reported to the European Court of Human Rights, European Court of Justice, for lying to the people.
Margaret, I can guarantee you that I absolutely will not look it up.
No.
I will do nothing of the sort. That is my guarantee to you. I promise not to look it up, if that's any help.
Well, that's fine, but do you think Brexit could be reversed? Would it be possible?
Yeah, sure it would. Whether the European Union could stand to have us rejoin.
Again, yes.
I mean, would you? if it was up to you and you were in Europe? No, exactly right.
There's going to be a mass exodus from Britain, and unless we get rid of these Tories and all the rest of them that told the people lies, it is absolutely scandalous.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I believe we've got an unwritten constitution. And at the end of the day...
Are you about to give me more homework?
Yes, definitely.
But miss, it's the weekend. No. And furthermore... No. I can't believe you're giving me homework at 1 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, Margaret. Are you out of your mind? But anyway, thanks for the suggestion, but it's a no from me.
No.
And in closing, David texts, bearing in mind our next Prime Minister will be chosen by old people pressing a button on a computer, how can we be sure they press the right button? David, don't worry. There is no right button. They're both wrong. I'm going to be back tonight at 10 o'clock if you stick around for long enough for me to go to the bottom of this giant page of texts and emails I didn't get around to reading out. I'll find out that, Richard Spur is here from 4 o'clock, but right now, in person, it's Clyde Bull. 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 Now, in person, it's Clyde Bull.
Chân tàn nơi bể dâu, ngày mai rõ thôi, về đâu tình đơn. Ưa lệ, chân tàn nơi bể dâu, ngày mai rõ thôi, về đâu